Hello, everybody, and welcome to the continuation of our lesson on the terms from Henrik Ibsen's A Doll's House. Today we're going to pick up where we left off alphabetically, and we're going to be in the letter I with the next set of terms. So the first one is indiscretion. To commit an indiscretion, as Nora has done, is to engage in some kind of behavior or action or speech that lacks good judgment. Torvald asks Nora whether she has engaged in any indiscretion when it comes to maybe taking a little side trip into a pastry shop or indulging in some macaroons, perhaps. And she, of course, lies to him and says no. She wants him to indulge her whims when she says, I would just like money for Christmas. To indulge someone is to allow another person or oneself to enjoy the pleasure of something. So you might give in to someone's whims if you're indulging them. You might indulge in idle gossip, for example. It's to allow yourself to enjoy the action of something or the pleasure of something. Parents who are too indulgent can create very spoiled children. She is referencing installments in terms of payments. So an installment in that case is a sum of money that you would give, a sum of money that is made in equal payments. She's trying to pay back that loan, for example. But you could also, have a magazine that shows up in installments, a story that is in installments. It means several parts of something are being published, not all at once. Lodging is a place where people live. It is a place where you would stay forever or even stay temporarily. You talk about a hotel as a lodging. So it could be your steady home or a place where you stay temporarily, like a hotel. Okay. Mrs. Lind is looking for lodging, right? She's looking for a place to stay in this town. Melodramatic is over the top. It means when you're acting in a sensationalized way or an over-emotional way. In an over-emotional, exaggerated, what else can we say? Sensationalized manner. So Torvald at one point will say to Nora, don't be so melodramatic, Don't be over the top. You know that expression. There's always drama around that person. A nuisance is a person or thing or concern that causes irritation, that causes annoyance. Your little brother might be a nuisance. Right? If someone is obstinate, they are stubborn. So if you're stubbornly refusing to change your mind or to change your course of action, you would be called obstinate. You could say that Achilles is obstinate because he quits the battle when his pride is hurt. And even when Agamemnon returns Briseis later on in one of the later books, he still won't come back to fight for the Greeks. He's being very obstinate. A parcel is an object or even a collection of objects that are wrapped in paper and carried or mailed. Nora comes home with a bunch of parcels. So she's carrying them in. They are carried or sometimes mailed. I should change that and to or. A parcel can also be, I'll give you a second definition, can also be a tract of land. Aunt Georgiana and her husband went out to Nebraska and received a tract of land because of the Homestead Act in the short story by Willa Cather. At one point in the play, Nora calls or says that Christine Lind is being patronizing. She's patronizing her. This means that she's talking down to her in a condescending manner. Okay, so when someone is patronizing, they are appearing to be kind. They're appearing kind or helpful. But underneath it, there's a feeling of superiority. But betraying a feeling, I'm just going to go up here, of superiority. So when she says to Nora, oh yeah, really, you've had a lot of struggle in your life. I'm sure you've really had to work to make ends meet. She knows that she's just being patronized, that she's patronizing her. She doesn't really mean it, you know. A pauper is a poor person. The Prince and the Pauper, if you remember that story as a little kid. The word petty means trivial, trifles, if you will, something that is not of great importance. If you presume something to be true, you are supposing that something is true. Supposing that something is the case just on the basis of probability, that's all. So I presume she was led out of the building only because I don't hear her voice anymore. So I'm going to kind of presume, I'm going to suppose that that's the case. If someone is reckless, which is what Torvald thinks Nora is, being reckless, it means that they act without thinking. There's no prudence here, right? They're not thinking or caring about consequences. You could say in the myth of Theseus, he is somewhat reckless when he thinks that he can go down into the underworld and kidnap Persephone for his friend Pirithos. You know, if he had thought more carefully about that, he'd realize he was going up against a god, and that was a bit much. But of course, he was too filled with hubris. Retribution is payback, right? Punishment. It's a way of getting back at someone. It's punishment inflicted as vengeance for a criminal act. For something that someone has done wrong. So retribution is what every sinner in hell is experiencing in Dante's Inferno. They're getting some kind of punishment, and of course, contrapasso, the concept of contrapasso, the law of symbolic retribution, means that their punishment is going to mirror the sin that they committed on earth. Okay, and that's what we were talking about a long time ago when we were covering the Inferno. Moving right along, a rogue is a dishonest person, a dishonest man, an unscrupulous man. And by the way, I'm going to get to scruples, so I might as well do it now. Scruples is, what can we say? A feeling of hesitation or doubt with regard to the morality of a certain action. So if you have a sense of scruples, that means you're not going to act recklessly. Instead, you'll be a little bit more contemplative. You'll be a little bit more reflective. And you'll act with much more care and prudence and caution. To look at something scornfully is to look at something derisively, feeling or expressing contempt. Okay, so contemptuously. So let's keep it as an adverb and say contemptuously. You're looking down at it scornfully with you know, derision, derisively. You're looking down on something. And then there's just more. To stifle is to suffocate. To stifle someone's desire to live or to become who they want to become means that you're going to suppress them from exploring all that they can be. I think you all know sulk, right? To sulk is to be silent or disappointed or morose. You're kind of, stewing in your own juices, you might say, out of your own annoyance or disappointment. So stop sulking over there in the corner. You're pouting. I guess that would be a good word. Pouting. To be tactless is to have no sensitivity when you're dealing with someone, in your speech perhaps, or your actions. Primarily with your speech, though. To have no sensitivity when you're dealing with others or with difficult issues. To be tactless, you made that tactless remark, and you know the man is suffering, right? It doesn't show any kind of empathy or concern for anyone else if you're being tactless. You don't have any kind of sense of that decorum. Unassailable means it's unable to be attacked, unable to be questioned, defeated, attacked. If you talk about somebody's reputation being unassailable, it means it's completely flawless. They've done nothing wrong. Macbeth believed he was unassailable, right, guys? Especially when he got those prophecies about Birnam Wood coming to Dunsinane and that no man of woman born can harm him. How could that even be? He felt unassailable. He felt like he couldn't be attacked or defeated. Unreservedly means completely. She unreservedly gave her approval. It means without any hesitation. At one point in the play, Nora wants to talk unreservedly to Torvald about their marriage, without any hesitation, without any falsehoods, without any pretense. She wants to be upfront and honest. And Dr. Rank says his life is wretched, which means it's in a state that is very unhappy or unfortunate. There's like nothing to live for, pretty much, when you say you're feeling wretched. Okay, and that concludes the terms from A Doll's House. Thank you.